which is Hamas shouldn't be in a hospital at all.
But to say that this is a strategic targeting of Hamas is an insult to our intellect and our humanity. This is a destruction of people who heal. This is a direct targeting of healthcare workers.
As we speak, 7 members of aid workers working for World Central Kitchen have been brutally murdered by evil Israeli forces. What were they doing, these 7 people? What were they doing there? First, Israel created a man-made famine, man-made starvation, made people starve, blocked all the food supplies to enter Gaza so that the people die of hunger. Now, amidst the global uproar and outrage, when limited number of aid workers were allowed in, Israelis now started killing them systematically. They're killing them. It's no coincidence. It's not a mistake. If somebody tells you, if anybody from evil Israeli regime comes and tells you that this was a mistake and they are investigating, it's hogwash. They are lying through their teeth. It's systematic killing. They very much intended to kill all those people. The idea is, if the original idea is to ensure that these people die of hunger, these aid workers are proving to be impediment. So they are just removing every obstacle on the way. Now you talk to these jokers in the State Department like Matthew Miller or White House John Kirby, they will defend Israel come what may.
And if you look at the position that the department's legal advisors laid out before the ICJ, they do go through this chapter and verse. I'm not going to repeat all of it here from the podium. I obviously don't have the filing with me, but you can look where we do go through exactly why we don't believe genocide is an appropriate term to use in this case.
Okay. I'm wondering, since then we've heard troubling details of these allegations, including soldiers sticking electrified rods up people's anuses. We've continued to see not single-digit, but now piles of photos and videos of soldiers parading through women's underwear. So I'm wondering, what are the updates on those instances we talked about a few weeks ago, and what is the update now that this keeps seemingly happening unabated?
So I would say whenever we see these reports, we make clear to the Israeli government what we make clear publicly, which is that they need to be investigated, and if appropriate, there needs to be accountability.
I just wonder how these reporters who are assembled in that building every day, how do they maintain their sanity? So you have aid workers being systematically killed, so therefore there will be nobody to supply food or aid materials, to these people in dire need. And there are more than 2 million population who desperately need that food, desperately need that relief materials. And then you have Al-Shifa hospital carnage. You saw the footage. You can see the footage. I mean, the Al-Shifa hospital doesn't look like a hospital. Such a massive, healthcare facility center now has turned into rubble. It looks like a ghost town. You can see the amount of, the firing that Israeli army has carried out. Now, this question was asked repeatedly to this joker, Matthew Miller, and he kept blaming Hamas.
There shouldn't be terrorists in a hospital at all. And so it's incredibly difficult to operate there and achieve a legitimate counterterrorism goal in a way that minimizes harm to patients, which goes back to my first point, which is Hamas shouldn't be in a hospital at all.
Now, thankfully, Sky has done an interview with a doctor who is, connected with her colleagues who are working there. And this doctor exposes the lies of White House, exposes the lies of America, exposes the lies of Biden administration. What this doctor says is chilling. What this doctor says is that Israelis are deliberately targeting anybody who is remotely identified as a doctor or somebody working, as a medical professional. So what the doctors in Gaza are currently doing is that once their shifts are over, they come out and they immediately change into a civil clothing so that they can't be identified by the Israeli evil forces. Watch it for yourself.
Doctor, I look, the picture you paint is one of devastation. You'll know that the Israeli military say that they have killed and detained hundreds of Hamas militants within the Al-Shifa complex. Do you know if Hamas were there and were fighting with the Israelis?
I am just shocked that we're still having this conversation. They executed tens of people point blank, including one of our colleagues, Dr. Ahmed Khalalati, who's a very experienced plastic surgeon, him and his mother, who's also a physician. They executed people point blank. And including many of our colleagues who've been detained now, we haven't heard back from them. Previous students of mine detained, young doctors detained. We don't know if they're dead or alive. They have been gone for over 100 days. So to say that this is a strategic targeting of Hamas is an insult to our intellect and our humanity. This is a destruction of people who heal. This is a direct targeting of healthcare workers. I just want to paint a very brief picture of what healthcare workers are telling me there. They're saying that when they leave the hospital, civilians give them civilian clothing because wearing scrubs is sticking a target sticker on their back. That is how systematically healthcare has been targeted. And frankly, in the last 24 hours, what we've seen from Al-Shifa Hospital, what we've seen from Al-Aqsa Hospital, and what I worry is coming to the remaining hospitals of the Gaza Strip, because it has been the pattern and we will not ignore it, is a direct and systematic targeting of healthcare that is unjustifiable.
So there are two things here. This doctor, this lady, is vehemently rejecting the claim made by the likes of Matthew Miller that Israelis were there to target or to fight with Hamas. There was no Hamas. This doctor is saying that there was absolutely no Hamas. And I'll tell you why they were there, because this has been my suspicion right from the day one. But I'll come to that. And number two, she's saying that how Israelis are deliberately targeting anybody who is linked with the medical profession. And that's where my suspicion has been, that from the day one, Israel's aim has been to indulge in a systematic ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. It's worse than the Holocaust. So the people who are dead, who are killed easily, they are killed. People who survive, they will not be allowed to live like a human being. So you destroy every medical facility in the region. And worse, if anybody who comes from outside to provide the medical the help or healthcare facilities, you kill them as well. That's brutal. That's evil. That's evil. I mean, this cannot, we've heard about Holocaust, but in 2024, if we are witnessing this, you can imagine the level of depravity that these Israeli forces, helped by the British government and American government and the EU, they are doing it. So they have destroyed and they're destroying whatever is left of healthcare facilities in Gaza. They have destroyed all the educational institutions. So this generation will have absolutely no access to education. So Israel is playing a very, very dangerous politics here. They are not only they are killing or they are massacring thousands, tens of thousands of Palestinians, including children and women, but they are also making, those who are alive or who are left, who could not be killed, they are making them unable to grow in life or to live a meaningful life. That's why I say it's worse than the Holocaust. And the people who are complicit in that are the people of bloody so-called civilized world. The UK, the USA, the EU, the Australia, the France, the Canada. All these people are complicit in that. Hope all these people are hit by karma one day. I really hope that. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways that you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.